Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Israel marked today its Memorial Day, commemorating the memory of the country's 23,741 fallen soldiers and 3,150 civilian victims of terror since the inception of the Jewish state 71 years ago. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani announced this morning that the Islamic Republic will immediately cease its adherence to the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which is the technical term of the nuclear agreement. The leader of the Palestinian Iranian-backed Islamic Jihad organization reveals that he expects a full-scale war to erupt with Israel over the course of this summer. Israel marked its Memorial Day today, commemorating the memory of the country's 23,741 fallen soldiers and 3,150 civilian victims of terror since the inception of the Jewish state 71 years ago. Memorial ceremonies were held yesterday evening and throughout today, while some 1 million people have reportedly visited the country's 52 military cemeteries. During the official state memorial ceremony in Jerusalem this morning, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stressed that on this day of remembrance and pain, the entire nation unites as one family, regardless of one's background or ethnicity, in honor of the great sacrifice of Israel's fallen that has assured the future of the Jewish state.
והיום העם כולו מחבק את משפחותיהם של 23,741 בנינו ובנותינו, חללי מערכות ישראל, יהודים, דרוזים, מוסלמים, נוצרים, בדואים, צ'רקסים.
Netanyahu also pointed to recent developments that once again clearly indicate the necessity to stand up in the face of those that seek to annihilate the state of Israel, including the Islamic Republic of Iran that has announced this morning its intention to scale back on parts of its commitments to the 2015 multilateral nuclear agreement.
משפחות יקרות, אזרחי ישראל, אירועי הימים האחרונים ממחישים בבהירות על מה נסוב מאבקנו. על הניסיון של דורשי רעתנו להחריב את מדינתנו, לעקור אותנו מארצנו. ב100 השנים האחרונות אויבינו ניסו לעשות זאת פעם אחר פעם, אך הם נכשלו. בבוקר הזה, בדרכי לכאן, שמעתי שאיראן מתכוונת להמשיך בתוכנית הגרעין שלה. לא נאפשר לאיראן להשיג נשק גרעיני. נוסיף להיאבק במבקשי נפשנו, וננעץ את שורשינו עמוק עוד יותר באדמת המולדת. כך עשו גיבורינו בשחר תחיית האומה, ואנו צועדים בדרכם.
Prime Minister Netanyahu's vow to confront Tehran's nuclear aspirations came in response to a televised statement this morning by Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, in which he announced that the Islamic Republic will immediately cease its adherence to the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which is the technical term of the nuclear agreement that was reached between Tehran and the P5+1, which included the United States under the Obama administration, Russia, China, France, Britain, plus Germany.
و اون دو اقدام این است که ما در برجام توافق ما بر این بوده که غنیسازی در سطح 3/67 نگه داریم. از این اقدام خودداری میکنیم، یعنی سطحی دیگه برای ما مطرح نیست. و دوم اینکه راکتور آب سنگین عراق که بنا بود با مشارکت کشورهای 5+1 اون وقت در برجام نوسازی بشه و خب در مسیر راه و هنوز به نتیجه نهایی نرسیده. بعد از 60 روز ما نسبت به عراق هم تصمیم خواهیم گرفت که برنامه قبل از توافق برجاممون رو ادامه بدیم.
The Iranian president also took the opportunity to warn the leaders of the 5 remaining members of the nuclear deal that if they would use the Iranian decision as a pretext to formulate new UN Security Council resolutions against the Ayatollah regime, they will be met with a very firm response. That said, Rouhani underscored that Tehran does not intend to leave the nuclear deal in its entirety, claiming that the scale back is in line with the terms of the multilateral agreement.
همون برجامی که به ما میگه در بند 26 و 36 که در صورت تخلف طرف متقابل شما هم میتوانید تعهدات خودتون را بکاهید در هر سطحی و ما امروز کاهش اون را اعلام میکنیم نه خروج از برجام رو.
Meanwhile, in Iran's western neighbor, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo concluded an unannounced visit to Baghdad, during which he met with Iraqi leaders after voicing Washington's concerns about growing Iranian influence in the region at large and Iraq in particular. The visit came just 2 days after U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton announced the deployment of the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln and its strike group to the region, as well as a bomber task force, because of a credible threat by Iranian regime forces. Upon leaving Iraq, Secretary Pompeo was asked about the deployment, to which he responded by stressing that the United States hopes that its actions and repeated messages will force the Iranian leadership to think twice before targeting American interests.
My visit, the actions taken by the Department of Defense, the message that we've sent to the Iranians, I hope put us in a position where we can deter it. The Iranians won't think twice about attacking American interests.
It is interesting to note that the intelligence behind the American decision to deploy additional forces to the region was made after an Israeli delegation to the White House, led by Israeli National Security Council head Meir Ben-Shabbat 2 weeks ago, conveyed intelligence information to their American counterparts, which provided proof of Iranian intentions to escalate the situation. According to American media reports, the information that was provided by Israel indicated an imminent attack in which the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps is transporting short-range ballistic missiles aboard vessels in the Persian Gulf with the aim of targeting U.S. interests. Now to Lebanon, where the leader of the Palestinian Iranian-backed Islamic Jihad organization revealed that he expects a full-scale war to erupt with Israel over the course of this summer. In an interview with the Hezbollah-affiliated Al-Mayadeen network, Ziad al-Nahalla pointed to the fact that the Egyptian-mediated ceasefire that was reached earlier this week between Israel and the Islamist factions in the Gaza Strip came just hours ahead of his organization's plans to fire rockets at central Israel, including Tel Aviv. Al-Nahalla referred to the latest round of violence, in which the Islamic Jihad and Hamas launched close to 700 rockets towards Israeli civilian communities as a military exercise ahead of a large-scale war which he believes will break out in the coming months. Now back to Israel, where, as occurs annually, Israelis made a sharp switch this evening from commemorating the country's fallen to celebrations of the state's 71st Independence Day. While the declaration of Israel's independence was officially made on the 15th of May 1948, Israel marks the date annually according to the Hebrew calendar on the 5th of Iyar, which this year falls on the 9th of May. The celebrations commence this evening with a special state ceremony on Jerusalem's Mount Herzl that is still ongoing. Thank you for watching us. You can also watch us at TV7israelnews.com or TV7.fi. For any comments, please send your emails to israelnews@tv7.fi. For more updates from Israel and its region, please join our Facebook page at TV7 Israel News. Praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan. Have a erev tov. We will see you again tomorrow at the same time.